Hi, I'm Kostakis. I'm using my ironing board as a desk. Today I'm going to show you what I do when I'm starting a story, starting with a blank page. I'm going to be asking myself 4 questions to begin. The first question I'm going to ask myself is, what is the genre of my story? Now, a genre is a type of story. So you can have a horror story, an action adventure, a fantasy, a science fiction story. You could have a mystery story. There is a whole bunch of genres that you can choose from, but we only need one for this exercise. Now, the easiest way to pick a genre is to ask yourself what your favorite movie or book is. So if your favorite book is Harry Potter, that's easy. The genre of Harry Potter is fantasy. So let's say that we're going to write a fantasy story today. So fantasy stories are just stories that include magic and the unbelievable. Okay? So that is the genre of our story. The second question you're going to need to ask is, where is my story set? Now, you can make up a place. Yeah? It can be a world of wonder and magic, or you can set it somewhere real. Yeah, you could set it somewhere like Paris or New York, somewhere that you've been or somewhere that you haven't. Or you can set it somewhere closer to home. You could set it in your grandmother's kitchen, or you could set it in your living room during quarantine. I find the easiest way to figure out where you should set your story is ask yourself, where is your favorite place in the world? Are there somewhere you want to go or somewhere that you've been? And so for this exercise, my favorite place in the world, it was when I was growing up and it still is now, is the local library. So I'm going to choose the local library as the setting for my story. Now, the third question I'm going to ask is, who is my main character? Yeah? It could be a real person. It could be someone like you, or it could be a tomato in a top hat. You can write about whoever you want or whatever you want. But for this story, I want to write about somebody ordinary. I'm thinking a 12-year-old, they like reading, and you know what, I'll make them a little bit like me. I'll make them Greek as well, and I will give them massive curly hair when they don't comb it. The fourth and final question you have to ask is, what is the problem? Now, this is the most difficult part of this whole thing because you have to tie everything else together with this question's answer. So our first question was, what is the genre? And we chose fantasy. So we're dealing with magic. We're dealing with the surreal. Now, our second question was, what is the setting? And our answer was the local library. And our third question was, who is the main character? And we chose a sort of ordinary boy. He's Greek and he's got curly hair and he loves reading. And I've got to tie all those together and think, what is the problem? Yeah? Now, if I came up with a problem that was like, oh, he lost his library card, that's fine, but it doesn't really sound like a fantasy story, does it? So we have to sit and think really, really carefully of a way to tie this all together. So just off the top of my head, what could happen? How about my main character? He gets dropped off by his mum. He has 2 hours to spend however he wants to within that library. And so he goes to his favorite section. He goes to one of his favorite collections of books, opens it up, turns to a random page, but the book is a little different. And before he knows it, he's sucked into that book. And now he has 2 hours to get back out to the real world before his mum picks him up. So do you see how I took the answers to those 4 questions, and by the end I had a story? Now I would love for you to have a go at that yourself. So ask yourself, 1, what is the genre of your story? 2, where is that story set? 3, who is your main character? And 4, what is the problem that ties that all together? Good luck. See you soon.